So this is the first row of her nano fusions. Before she had micro fusions. That one's a little messy, so I'll probably take that one out and redo him. Because you can see he's grabbing other hair. You don't want that to happen. Another thing is I'm going to point out her color is a little off. Her hair color is just a tad bit darker than the vibrancy of her extensions. But the good thing about micros is that they will blend really nicely because they're pieces. So they're little tiny little pieces instead of like an entire strip that can become too bulky. So with you going, you know, within like maybe a half an inch to an inch increments up and then getting wider as you go up, it'll look like more of an ombre or a balayage. And if in the end it's still too much of a difference, we did just color her hair the other day and refreshed it this morning. This will fade. So this is step one, and the next part will be me showing you how to apply one of these guys. We're gonna take him out. So yeah. So this is the one that we're taking out, and I'm just gonna show you how to take it out. So because she has nanos, we're using the pink candled pliers because it has a smaller hole. And then I'll show you the other ones later, but the other nano fusions, I'm sorry, these are the nano fusions. The micro fusions are white and they're bigger. But basically what you're gonna do, sorry Amber, you're going to take the cylinder and put it in the hole and press down till you feel a release in your wrist and then shimmy it out. Now if it gets stuck like that because there's too much hair, is another reason why it probably looks all bundled, you can take the tip of your comb and kind of grab that hair that it's looped around, or not, because that doesn't want to seem to come off. So we're gonna use the clip. No, we're not. We're just gonna grab it. So that's her loop right there. So I'm gonna grab her loop and unloop it and then pull it out. So now that is free to be re-looped and put back in. So I'm gonna show you how to loop them. So Hair Treats has two loops. Pink one goes first, white one goes second. The pink one has a clear bottom and the white one has a black bottom. So you're gonna take about this much hair for the nano fusions. You're gonna use your trusty rat tail comb as your helper. So you're gonna go into the loop and put the hair through the hole, through the pink loop first. Grab it with these two fingers so you don't lose it. Then we're gonna come down here to the pink and clear bottom. And what you're gonna do is interloop that into the clear one. Let me move that comb, I don't know if you can see. So into the clear one. So you're gonna go in like that and then pull it through. And use your middle finger and your ring finger to grab that hair, because once you lose it, it's really hard to push up on the extension. So now you have your hair looped into the clear one and you're gonna pull the black one out. And what that's gonna do, if you can see, it's gonna interloop and kind of like a double knot process. Then you're going to pull it through. And then you have this awesome looking knot at the top. You're gonna grab the cylinder and the hair and push up. Then you're gonna take your pliers and pinch it. And there you go. So I'm also gonna show you how much hair I'm taking down for the next section. I left half of it out so you can see. About that much. I usually go in a V pattern, but with Amber, since she has a little bit of finer hair, the peak down here at the very bottom wouldn't allow me to do a V because you could see through it. Which, another thing, if you pull the hair up, you should not be able to see any of the cylinders. But you can also see how her hair is going to blend in with the extensions really well. Like, yes, like I said, it is darker, but it still looks very pretty so far. So we're going to take about this much hair, continue the U around to this side, and then do a whole nother row. Why is this out of focus? Let's go over shapes really quick. So this is the U shape. This is what we use for Miss Amber. She has natural falling layers around her face that frame down. So really what this allows is the hair to get shorter as you go towards the temples of the head, which allows you to fall at a peak and natural fall with whatever haircut she already has. It was best for her, and this is what we chose. Now next is going to be the V pattern. The V pattern is pretty much the same concept. The only difference is that with Amber, I could not do the V pattern because at the very bottom of her nape, you could see her nano fusions peeking through as I lifted her hair up. So we went with a more U shape. Now this is the straight lines. I do not prefer this lines or this placement just because it's personal preference. I feel like it's too harsh and you have to cut more hair off and it's not natural falling. But really it's up to you and what you think is best for you and your client. So this is the second row of Amber's extensions. As you can see, the bottom has filled in a little bit. We're going to do probably 2 to 3 more rows depending on how much space we have until her hair starts to separate around the crown. This is a little bit of more of a close-up of her nano fusions. You don't have to put them so close. We did. She's had the extensions before. You can put them a little bit farther away. It's totally up to you. Top, so you just have to be careful not to put it too far up. Chin up for me, Amber. Because with her hair being on the finer side, it's going to break open a little bit, and then you're going to be able to see through it. Now, even though they are flesh tone, or not flesh tone, but like, you know, the same color as her hair, like, then they blend really well, you still don't want it showing. So you want to go like right at the curvature of her head, and then go from there. I'm not going to put any right here, obviously, because it's going to break open, especially when her hair gets dirty. You don't want it to separate. So about right here. The last row I did was about right here, and we're going to go to like right here. If you have little flyaways and stuff like that, just take a little bit of hairspray, spritz the area, and just lay it down. That way it's not getting stuck in your wax. When going to the side, you also want to go at an angle. So you're going to go from, so you're going to use forward back method, meaning you're going to go from her forehead to the back of her head at the angle. So you're taking the angle and just basically doing this. But you want to leave at least a good perimeter from her ear out because you don't want it showing through. So once we're completely finished, if those still show through, I will move those up. But you also want to make it flush with the ones in the back, so they're kind of in the same row. That way you don't really have any disconnection. And that's just a quick run through the entire process. The forward back method will repeat on the right side or left side of the head, whichever one you didn't do. But next we're going to go over tools. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some tools that you're going to need. So you need a plastic bag. You don't have to get a biohazard bag like I have, but just any kind of Ziploc bag or anything to put your extra extensions or your pieces in whenever you're finished. You're gonna need some string. Doesn't matter what kind of string you use as long as it's some string. You really don't even have to do that. It just makes it easier on us to re-loop it. A foil comb to piece out the hair and loop your hair into the extensions. The re-looper, that way you can re-loop your loops back into the hair, the cylinder. This one is the peak handle pliers. It's for the nano fusions, or you're going to use the white handle for the micros, and the hole is just bigger. Now these don't close all the way because it's ultimately bigger. That doesn't need to pitch all the way down. You don't need to put it that tight because where your hair will break. Now these you do have to be a little bit more careful with because they do close all the way. You don't want to pinch the hair too tight and then it break off. A lot of the times if you put it too tight, too much hair, and you yank on it real hard, it will rip your hair out. So just be careful. You have to baby your hair just like with tape-ins or clip-ins. You're just going to get natural fallout. And then some clips. I do recommend alligator clips if they have a lot of hair, or even because just they're really nice to use. But I also recommend a flatter clip, not only to hold the end of this clip, but to hold the rest of the hair on top of the head, and then some hairspray to spray the flyaways. That way there's no extra hair getting in your work. And that's it. Okay, so we're gonna give a quick run through on what to do with these little guys whenever you're done. They are the loops that you take out. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Oh my gosh, look at that. You're gonna take these loops and you have to re-loop them back into the extension. But obviously they're all in her hair. So we want to save them for the next time. So the first appointment usually is just gonna be about an inch away from her scalp, and we're going to just loosen them and move them up. If they need to be taken out, they need to be re-looped. That way they can interloop into the hair again. So I'm gonna show you what this trusty guy is for. Basically, it's just like, I'm not even gonna call that wire, just like, you can use wire, yarn, whatever you can get your hands on. But I found this to be easier to separate the whites and the pinks. If you throw them into a bag, like I have done before, they get very tangled and it's just a big mess. This just kind of makes it a little bit easier. So I take a flat clip and put it at the bottom so they don't fall through. Just like that. We're gonna put it up here. No, we're gonna put it down here. And then the other end, and we're gonna take just the white ones, clear, and just put them through. And we're gonna do that with all the white ones, and then a separate one for all of the pink ones, because just so you can go back and forth and grab one of each instead of having to pick through an entire pile like this. Because nobody likes to do that. It's very time consuming. That way, whenever they come back, it's already ready. You can just grab your string out, which we are eventually gonna put in the bag, but just grab your string out and pick the colors as you go. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll come back and show you how to re-loop. Hello, welcome back. So we're going to take this little guy, this tool right here, and use it to re-loop our extensions. So there is this little circle thing. This door comes down. What you're gonna do is set the extension in the hook part, close the door, and pull it through. So I'm gonna show you again with this black extension, and this is a micro fusion. This is not a nano. The difference between a micro and a nano, really quick. I hate how it doesn't focus, so I'm sorry. But that is the micro. And you can see the size difference. So this one on this side is the nano, and this one on this side is the micro. Micro is for thicker hair. Less dense and thin hair, you're gonna wanna use the nano. We switched Amber from the micros to the nanos because they literally were sliding out of her hair to the point where she would just run her fingers through and they would just slide out. So now we're gonna take the trusty looper and put it through the whole of the cylinder. So from the top towards the hair, try to keep the hair out of the way, you don't wanna get tangled. Doesn't matter what order you put the loops on. You're gonna put the pink one, the clear one, and then you're going to try and close the door. Okay, so it's not wanting to agree with me. You guys are so patient. If you're still watching, this is awesome. Okay, so there's a little door. You're gonna close it, and then you're just going to pull it through. And there you go. It's re-looped, ready for use again. Now I'm gonna show you a little tip on washing them. So if they're not in the hair and you're washing them, what you want to do is make it as easy as possible. Again, we're gonna use one of these little strings with the clip on the bottom of it. And these are just the previous client's extensions that we did not use. I'm using as an example. And this one's already re-looped. And we're gonna take the string, put them both through, and this really just makes it easier for you because having to hold an entire bundle of the already looped, like pre-looped extensions, not only is it hard to hold, especially since, you know, you can't put that many on one finger, you have to like wash them in increments, like little separate piles, especially if they have like 15 packs. And remember, like 10 pieces come in a pack, so that's a lot of hair. This way you can just put them through, you tie it off, that way you can just hold on to this and they're all together. You can also use this for blow drying too. You just take your string, what I've done before is you can put it in your drawer, press on it somehow with your knee. Oops, and I just dropped it. We're back. Press on it with your knee or have another designer help you, if they have, you know, the time, or even have your client help you if they want to. I wouldn't recommend it just because this should be done before they get back. If it is done during the process of like them coloring or anything like that, really it shouldn't take you very long because relooping is very fast. Anyways, it's just an easier way to do it instead of holding them in a bundle. That way you can wash them, you can blow dry them, you can heat to them like this. Just this is a little bit thicker than your plastic, but of course plastic melts, so let's try not to touch the plastic. And even if you're coloring them, I would not recommend lightening them. We all know what happens to hair whenever you lighten it. I really would just color them darker if you need to. Yep, and that's it. Okay, well, that's it. If there's anything that you feel like I missed, just let me know. If there's any questions you might have, just also let me know. I tried to do my best on putting everything in a very fast video. I hope I didn't miss anything for you guys. Just let me know if I could have done better or if it's awesome, whichever. But I hope it helps, and good luck in your extension business.